all sectors, not just IT.
Right.
And seeing that and how you have been helping in shaping that dream of the country appears to be very amazing, because you give them a platform, you give them the voice, you understand the challenges and come out with a report.
Right.
That's something which is a beautiful thing to do when it comes to a specific area that we talk about, that is GCC.
A lot of global organizations are kind of finding their safe haven in India. They're investing a lot, and hence the growth of GCC. But when it comes to, Indian landscape, do they also need to understand the regulatory part of it, the nitty-gritties of the policies and the privacy laws? What is your take on it?
See, okay, every country has its own framework, guidelines, laws, rules, regulations when it comes to security, when it comes to privacy. And if you'll see privacy, I think almost all countries are coming up with their own niche law. India has been among one of them with DPDP Act, that is Digital Personal Data Protection Act, coming in the year 2023, and the rules are yet to be
Correct.
enacted.
Hi, you're watching The Mainstream. I am Simran Shivalkar, your host for today. We are in Delhi witnessing the latest edition of GCC Converge Summit 2025, brought to you by The Mainstream and presented by Airtel Business. Well, today I have with me a very known voice in the industry, Ms. Khushbu Jain. She is the advocate at Supreme Court, also a managing partner at ARC Legal. Firstly, Ms. Jain, thank you so much for joining us and being a part of this summit.
Thank you so much to the mainstream media, and also it's always a pleasure to be talking to you, Simran.
Same here, absolutely. That being said, let's lead with your experience first. You've also been a part of the panel on cybersecurity. Can you tell us how it has been so far, having so many GCC leaders under one roof? How has it been?
See, it's amazing to have, when one side we're talking about increasing, when we talk about GCC, when it comes to India, we want this to be a hub, we want more inclusion, and we want more MNCs to be in India in all sectors, not just IT.
Right.
And seeing that and how you have been helping in shaping that dream of the country appears to be very amazing, because you give them a platform, you give them the voice, you understand the challenges and come out with a report.
Right.
That's something which is a beautiful thing to do when it comes to a specific area that we talk about, that is GCC.
Fantastic. I also want to understand from you, because a lot of global organizations are kind of finding their safe haven in India. They're investing a lot, and hence the growth of GCC. But when it comes to Indian landscape, do they also need to understand the regulatory part of it, the nitty-gritties of the policies and the privacy laws? What is your take on it?
See, okay, every country has its own framework, guidelines, laws, rules, regulations when it comes to security, when it comes to privacy. And if you'll see privacy, I think almost all countries are coming up with their own niche law. India has been among one of them with DPDP Act, that is Digital Personal Data Protection Act, coming in the year 2023, and the rules are yet to be
Correct.
enacted. With that, if you'll see, there have been a lot of regulatory guidelines when it comes to data retention, when it comes to data localization. You have RBI guideline circular issued in the year 2018. Then you have certain requirements when it comes to Aadhaar Act, certain requirements when it comes to guidelines, when it comes to certain guidelines or regulatory guidelines like IRDI and others apart from RBI. So these are few things which every entity who's coming in India, including GCC, because they are in the different jurisdictions,
Correct.
they can be at multiple jurisdictions. It is very important for them to understand the local laws of the country where they are. Number one. Number two, not just the privacy law, but also the regulatory aspect of it. What
Correct.
are the requirements? Failing which, let's say not one, but two countries or three countries, you are looking into penalties which can literally be very hefty, not just in financial terms, but also in terms of reputation. And also there are some countries, there are some laws which put in criminal aspect to it. Like for example, HIPAA, which is US law of privacy with respect to health data, has an aspect of criminal imprisonment as well. So you cannot ignore law, you cannot ignore the aspect of what are the laws. It has to be kept in mind so that you navigate this entire space of multi-jurisdiction in a very smooth manner.
Absolutely. And again, this may sound silly, but it goes both ways, right? When we are talking about entering in India, and also the Indian firms who are being a part of the ecosystem, do they need to be, in alignment of those regulatories as well?
Absolutely. I started with the same, that each and every organization now, if it's in different different jurisdictions or multi-jurisdictions has to understand the local laws when it comes to privacy, when it comes to different regulatory guidelines, which is including Indian companies or Indian inks as well into different jurisdictions. Like for example, GDPR is one which is there in the European Union. So there are a lot of countries have requirements when it comes to localization, when it comes to data sharing, when it comes to data retention, when it comes to rights to the data principals or data subjects, for that matter, users.
Yes.
So what rights you have to comply, because it's not just about security now, it's about compliance as well.
Right.
And just by non-compliance, don't even wait for the breach to happen. Basic non-compliance of those guidelines or those rules which are there can lead to, let's say for an example, in India, up to 50 penalty for non-compliance of each rights which have been provided or obligations which are provided in the Act. If you look at to GDPR, which is in European Union, up to 2% of penalty, which is of your 2% of your global turnover for each non-compliance. So these are hefty penalties that you're looking into. And again, as I said, multiple jurisdictions, you might get strangled into this entire regulatory challenges which comes up after this, or inquiries and the data protection boards or ICOs in different jurisdictions. So it's easy. It's better to have privacy and security culture in your organization when you're into the different jurisdictions and understand their laws and have those parameters set at the initial. That is security by design and privacy by design. Very important. Then there are just additional aspects which you have to look into in different jurisdictions.
Well, that has been very insightful. But before we wrap up, also I want to understand from you, how do you envision, as a cybersecurity leader, how do you see the future of, evolving in context with the global security strategy? What are some of the aspects that you look forward to?
Number one, automation with AI.
Absolutely,
I think that's the buzzword which everybody is using it, and we cannot not use it.
Yes.
So I think that's something which is transforming a lot, and there would be a huge shift or transformation in this industry as well. And I think easy and fast you inculcate this, it would be much better to navigate this and to make best use of it. And at the same time, when you talk about security aspect, I think when in cybersecurity also you cannot not use AI now.
Yes.
Threat detection in real time, the kind of cyber attacks have transformed using AI. You need technology, you need usage of AI when it comes to growth of an organization or of a business. At the same time, when it comes to securing your organization, fighting with cyber threats in real time, you have to have best use of tools, technology, which is with AI.
Rightly said. So thank you so much, Ms. Jane, for being a part of this summit and joining me in this conversation. Well, while we wrap up, I most certainly look forward to connect with you again.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.